Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Blue Zone series presented by Baptist Health for Her. We'll be continuing our conversation tonight and each Thursday or Tuesday and Thursday of this month in May to discuss the Blue Zone's Power 9, which are, if you haven't tuned in with us already, are the 9 health habits that experts from Blue Zones have found to improve longevity, which is super interesting. So as you know, last week we talked about moving naturally, and this week we're going to talk about purpose. Before we get into it, though, I just want to remind everyone that this series will be leading up to our virtual Siskiyou Kleppinger Endowed annual lecture, which is on June 3rd at 6 p.m. So the registration link is up above me, so please be sure to register, and it is for free, which is awesome. And we'll be talking about Blue Zones, more specifically about food is medicine, which I think is really interesting. So anyway, like I said, tonight we'll be discussing purpose, and I have the wonderful Lisa Bradford with me. So Lisa, I'm so happy to be with you again tonight. How's everything going?
Great. I love the Blue Zones. I love this subject. It's just, I don't know. I want to learn more about it, and that's why I am watching the series. And I'm a part of the club now. I'm with the Blue Zone, so I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, I'm so happy to have you here with me and to be discussing this more, I think, deeper topic, which is I'm looking forward to. So let's go ahead and get right into it, Lisa. So could you tell us about purpose and why is it so important?
Well, Jean, with research, they're finding out that purpose can actually add 7 years onto your life. And it's simple. It's why do we wake up in the morning?
Yeah.
And, research, they're looking at longevity, purpose. It even helps you keep a clear mind when you get older too. And it can be really simple. Everybody's purpose obviously is different, but it can be as simple as being fulfilled watching your kids play, your grandchildren grow up, being fulfilled at your job, trying a new activity or a hobby that you love to do. So it's pretty cool. It's very individual, and it changes too.
Yeah.
So,
Which I know we'll go into a little bit more.
right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that's a great, just explanation, but is there any more that you could elaborate on to like define a purpose?
Well, yes. First of all, it's about gifts and talents.
Okay.
So if you use you use your talents, your passions, and you cultivate that and do what you love to do, it's like falling into something. You fall into your calling or your purpose.
Yeah.
And I did some research over the weekend, and believe it or not, there's even a formula that I found, which is pretty interesting. Now it's G plus P plus E equals C. I know. So G is for gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So do what you love to do, right? And then P is your passion. What do you care about in life? E is your environment. So doing what you love in the place you want to be in, and you put it all together, and it's your calling or your purpose. So I even tried doing this weekend. It's not easy.
No.
It was funny. I had categories. And so I had a G, a P, and I'm trying to get it all squared. And I had a hard time. And it's not easy. It's nothing that you can just write down real quick and just figure it out. It takes reflection. You have to know what makes you happy. And so it's yeah.
Huh.
So, I know.
That's really, really powerful. I know we talked about this on Friday and you told me that formula and I was like, okay. And you asked me too, you're like, do you have purpose? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then I actually thought about it and I was like, oh, what is it? I don't know. I'm questioned it a little bit. And I did the same thing as I tried to go through that formula, which actually I think will be helpful for our viewers. I'll go ahead and put it in the comments so everyone
Right.
has it for themselves. But it's not easy. It really isn't at all.
It's not. And like I said, I on Saturday when I was preparing, I was looking over some notes and I'm going, all right, I'm going to do this. And yeah, it's going to be something I'm going to go back to.
Yeah, I think so for me too. Definitely, because I also, thought about it. I was like, my purpose is what I am, right? Like I'm a mom or, what my job title is, whatever. But it's more than that, right? Would you say?
It is. It's about what makes you truly happy.
Hmm.
And life is crazy. So you have to really take the time to understand yourself. And it's almost like a deep dive.
Yeah.
And taking the time to figure that out. So yeah, what makes you happy and what you want to contribute to the world.
Hmm.
It's very cool. I love this.
Yeah. This is really such a awesome topic, and there's just so much more research that you could do about it. I know that Blue Zones has their own information about it, so definitely, I think it's in the links that we have up above, is to visit there if you're interested in a little bit more. But I also had a question too regarding purpose. Is Does it change over time?
I believe so.
Okay.
I feel like the exposures that you have with people,
Hmm.
with experiences, and it's a journey. I feel like you could have like maybe watching your kids grow up, but
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, right? It's like you're going to develop other interests too. I mean, of course, you're going to want to see what they're up to, but maybe you started volunteering, somewhere, and all of a sudden you it's such a great community that you're involved with, and so I believe that it's evolving. I think it's a journey, um, and I know that's what they were looking at with longevity.
Hmm.
With a study, Dr. Butler did one. He followed a group for 11 years, and he took 63-year-old to 98-year-olds,
Okay.
and he wanted to see the correlation between longevity and purpose. And he saw that people that had purpose lived longer, and they also lived a better life. So it's interesting. I know. It's so cool. I just love this stuff.
Yeah, that is interesting. Was there, could you tell us a little bit more about the article? Just like how did they figure out, who defined for their purpose versus maybe others who didn't?
I didn't see all that. I did notice that the individuals that had purpose in their life, they they understood themselves,
Hmm.
and they, with their joy and their happiness, and it went into the right outlook. So
Ah,
they so it just like led into the right outlook. And these people, what I did read is that they were the ones that were very active in the community. They gave back. They participated in a lot of activities, and so yeah.
hmm. Wow. Really very, very interesting. And I still can't believe that number of 7 years. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
really a lot.
And 7 years is a nice number, but it's also how you're living your life during those 7 years.
Yeah, very true.
Right? Right? It's quality and quantity, right?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just curious for any of our viewers tuning in, if you took a stab at this formula at all. Did you find it difficult? Did you find it easy, or do you know your purpose? I'm just curious, but go ahead, and if you want to share, put it in the comments, but we would love to hear from you on that. Um, Another question too is, speaking of like defining your purpose not being easy, what kind of tips would you give to those who are having trouble defining that for themselves?
What I would start with first is like doing a internal inventory, getting to know yourself, digging deep, learning your standards, your principles, your morals, just kind of doing a deep dive on that. And, starting off with a blank piece of paper and a pen, or if you're more tech, where you want your laptop or your phone.
Mhm.
And that's what I actually did on Saturday. I got a piece of paper out. But I think if you can start out that way, and as these thoughts start coming to you, it's difficult because it's random. It's okay. But if you touch upon something that actually means something to you, you almost get like fired up about it. Like, yes, it's
Yeah.
almost like that fire starts up. And so I think, addressing what truly makes you happy.
Mhm.
And again, just, wanting to make an imprint on your life and in the world. So, and when you do think about this, you can also think about your strengths. What am I good at? What are my gifts? And, we all have valuable gifts to offer to ourselves, but then to also to others. And so that's something to think about. Another thing is thinking about what's in your heart and what don't you like to do. Getting rid of that. If you hate doing something, but you just keep on doing it because it's just a part of your routine, maybe re-examine that and, maybe get more creative and figure out, where am I going wrong here? Or how can I change this up? And then also just trying to do something new. Change that'll change up things too. And, maybe you've always wanted to play the piano or learn a foreign language. It's good strength for your brain. So, and it will give you new ideas again, where you're challenging yourself, and then you meet other people, and it's just a cool process. So,
Yeah, those are some great tips, and I think I'll use that, for myself. I know one thing, I think that I'm good at is trying new things, and it definitely always opens up my eyes, or even going to a new place, just exploring something different, kind of always opens up your eyes just a little bit to new stuff. So I love that. So yeah, that's great. And
and
so,
I
oh, go ahead.
noticed too that on the Blue Zone, they do
Mhm.
have a workshop. So if
Oh,
you're stumbling and you just, oh my God, this is just too much, believe it or not, they do offer purpose workshops. So you can go to www.bluezoneproject.com and
mhm.
go ahead and look that up and see what they're offering.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, and I'm curious. I'm probably going to go check that out. Like, what is a purpose workshop, and
I
how do
know.
you go through that? Well, if I ever experience it for myself, I'll be sure to share, the wealth of knowledge. But yeah, I think that that's a great idea, Lisa, is to just see, what that's all about. Um, so so once we have this purpose defined, maybe
Mhm.
we utilize those tips, to actually define that for us. But what are some ways that can help us stay focused on living more purposefully, right? Because it's not just about that definition, but it's also about following through with it, right?
Exactly. That's a good point. It is. It's once you come up with your purpose, then it's put it into action. And I like, just for instance, let's say you love animals. Then I would say, then just start putting your feelers out. Go to the Humane Society.
Mhm.
Get active in the community. I'm sure there's clubs or whatever you can get involved with, letting your colleagues know, your family know that you're interested in this, and also having a person like a partner or a sounding board.
Hmm.
That it's always good to have somebody to bounce thoughts off of, and so that's something else that maybe that will help you to follow through with your purpose, right?
Yeah. I know
Like,
for myself, talking through things is always you're kind of like, oh, yeah, it's, as you talk through it, it's a little bit different than keeping it all in there in your mind.
kind of like an accountability partner,
Yeah,
just somebody that's going to keep you on track. And yeah.
that's awesome. And I know you did mention there was some other information that you had on some 5 tips of living purposefully. Could you go over those with us?
Yeah, I was also reading with Dr. Deepak Chopra. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, the best-selling author, and he is definitely has a lot of good information on purpose and happiness. And what he says is purpose. If you develop or start working on purpose, it is a journey, and it can lead to happiness. That's what he said. And so there are some avenues, and he said that for one, he goes paths. What did he say? Successful paths. So this is something that's going to lead you in that direction. And he also said there's no magic bullet. It's kind of, this is something that is going to take time, and it's a journey. So first of all, he said about purpose at work. He
Hmm.
goes, find a job if you can that where you can use your gifts and your passions there. And also think about it. Like, I know that there's some jobs that maybe it's not exactly everything that you love to do, but think about being accomplished. You're accomplishing something, and you should be proud of yourself. So that's what he said. And then you can also, this is going to help other people at your job. So don't think it's always about yourself. So you're a team player.
Well, and just to pause there, and not to call you out, Lisa, but I know like every time we talk, you're always like, I love my job. I love what I do. So
I
I
do.
feel like you are such a prime example of that. And I would say I love my job too, but I just can feel the passion from you. And I can feel that you get that sense of accomplishment from what you do, which is amazing.
I do. Yeah, I still can't believe that I'm doing what I love to do. But then I think back on my other jobs as a nurse, and I loved them too.
Hmm.
And I would not be the person I am today if I didn't have those experiences
Yeah.
with my patients. So I feel very fortunate.
Yeah. And that every day journey, right,
Right.
is bringing to you where you are. That's awesome. Anyway, I know you still have some other tips to share with us, but
So it's other things. I'm like focusing on the good stuff.
Mhm.
Life is, there's frustrations, but it's thinking about what's your happy place.
Yeah.
If it's about that cup of coffee in the morning, or watching your kids play on the playground, talking to your best friend at night before you go to bed, whatever,
Mhm.
think of it that way. And it's also, so another point is, he said that following through with your bliss list. So
Huh.
we all have things that we enjoy. And so, like, as far as, let's say, reading, we don't have time to read, or I don't have time to read.
Mhm.
I need to actually be better at my time management. And so maybe 3 to 4 times a week for 30 minutes, I just need to do this because I enjoy reading. but it just nenever happens. So anyway, so that's one of it too.
I like that.
I know.
Sorry, but with the bliss list, because I mean, it's getting that fulfillment, right, of what you like to do, and we need to. That's part of self-care, I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
And finding your flow.
Mhm.
If you like being outside, maximize that. It's your happy place. So you can go biking, you can go walking with your family. Think about it. You could go walking on the beach. So it's doing that kind of thing. Communicating with old friends and new friends. Keeping the communication, your social network going. He was saying that the happiest people are the ones that are socially connected. So, and he even said long-term friends, that maybe somebody that you have not been in touch with in a long time, contact them. So, calling that friend you haven't talked to in 20 years is huge. So
Yeah. I have to say I did that recently with some friends from high school that I just lost, touch with from moving and all of that. But, it was really nice to reconnect and kind of remember, share those happy memories, and you get laughs out of it, right? Don't they say that laughing makes you live longer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so yes, and I thought it was interesting that he said that with passion, or no, with purpose,
Mm-hmm.
that it will lead to happiness.
Hmm.
So I thought that was kind of an interesting concept, that it will cultivate and it will move in that direction if having purpose.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but to me, that's the ultimate goal, right? Is
Right.
happiness. And I love that it's not just that simply be happy. There are things you have to do to cultivate that.
Right.
Wow, that's really powerful message. And speaking of that, looks like we have some viewers that just said hello to us. So Carmen said yes. Carmen, I'm not sure what you said yes to, but I'm agreeing with everything Lisa's saying tonight too. And looks like Renee, she said, Lisa, you rock, and such amazing information, which
So
I
funny.
agree.
She's
And
my best
Emily
friend.
tuned in with us too, and she said hey to us both. So thank you all for watching tonight. Well, Lisa, I mean, I have gotten so much from this conversation, just purpose and a lot to think about, and a lot of homework, I think, for myself to do. But what is the main thing that you would leave our viewers with today in talking about purpose?
Purpose, it sounds like a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
but I promise you, if you give it the time to really do a deep dive on yourself, it will be so well worth it.
Yeah.
It will be a stress reliever. You'll be happier. And what was it? The different cultures with the Blue Zone. This is a part of the Power Nine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is one of the powers. So that's how important purpose is.
Yeah. So focus on this is definitely not time wasted.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Lisa, as I said, I've so enjoyed talking with you tonight about this, and like I said, have a lot to think about going forward. But just as our conversation comes to a close, just want to thank you so much for your time tonight, and joining me and our viewers who are able to join with us today. And just a couple of things, reminders before we close out. Be sure to register for our Siskiyou-Cleppinger Endowed annual lecture on food as medicine, which is talking more about blue zones on June 3rd. I get the times and the dates mixed up. June 3rd at 6 p.m. It's virtual and for free, so you could just register at the link above us. Also, be sure to like the For Her page and turn on your notifications so you know when we go live, which will be every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. And my colleague Diana Rosito, who was with me for the first talk that we had, she's actually going to be with you all this Thursday with our own Dr. James talking about downshift, which I think is an interesting one. So I hope you all can join us, but I want to thank you again, Lisa, for joining me and for everybody for tuning in, and I hope you all have a great evening.
All right. Bye.
Bye.